So I got a new tripod, very exciting. This will hopefully make videos go by much more smoothly than the last one, where it was well, the last one was broken. I was hanging stuff on my wall at 2 o'clock in the morning and I fell off my chair and landed right on my tripod. So, you know, this one is much sturdier. Today's video is or was supposed to be the Greek goddess of night, NYX, being embraced by her husband behind her, Erebus. I may name butcher and I apologize. This piece was a bit experimental. I mean, I'm still learning when it comes to watercolor, but you know, really I'm always trying to pick up new techniques and new ways to do things, and I thought it would be kind of fun to record my experimental process. The ink, it's not, well, I guess it's not technically watercolor. The black is India ink. I layered down my masking fluid, which if anyone uses masking fluid, it is like straight up awful smelling. I don't know if there is a different type of liquid masking fluid that I could get that doesn't smell so bad, but it was rank. I also wish I didn't have colorless masking fluid, because most of the paper I have is always white, and when you have colorless masking fluid, you're like, where are my lines? I don't know. So I put down the masking fluid accidentally before, like, I don't know, I got so excited that I just started putting down the masking fluid. Originally I had actually wanted to ink her in first with the India ink, but just kind of went ahead and started with her hair. And I kind of just flooded the paper with water and then just kind of dropped the ink, you know, to just have it flow down, or attempt to. It kind of flows at the start, and then, you know, things start happening towards the bottom. Her hair was, well, I mean, she's the goddess of night. Her hair was supposed to reflect night. That's the other thing I've kind of noticed is that with masking fluid, if you, like, kind of try and dot it, so, you know, give it the star look, it expands, so all of a sudden your dots are way bigger. I wish that I had, like, flicked it more, you know, to kind of give it that starry look. But yeah, and the other thing I did, because I don't know why it doesn't go with night at all, but I also was like, I'm gonna throw flowers everywhere and like little veiny vine things, and because I don't know why I wanted her body to be covered in like nighttime flowers, like water lilies and moonflowers, and just like, you know, nighttime flowers that only bloom at nighttime or only show up at nighttime. Like, when I was like, oh, this is gonna be so pretty, and then I remembered that I'm not great at flowers. So I did these, you know, these viney, I don't even know what they are, made up plants. And afterwards I was like, now it just looks like her hair is underwater, like her hair is the sea instead of the night sky. So yeah, it's just, you know, just kind of rolling with it. It wasn't coming out like I had originally intended, my plan for it, but I mean, still kept going on. I still like the end result, but it was definitely a, you know, halfway through the process you're like, this is not where I thought this was going. But just stick with it. With any piece, you know, I mean, it'll become its own entity that you've got going on. I've got nothing. Yes. Despite the fact that the masking fluid smells disgusting, one of the most satisfying things is to peel it off. This is like, I think only my second piece that I've like actually used the masking fluid. Also, be warned, if you guys haven't used masking fluid before, it will ruin brushes. So make sure you have a brush, like an older, crappier brush that you're like, man, I don't need these brushes anymore. Those can be dedicated to masking fluid and not really nice brushes. That was a big mistake. So as I mentioned earlier, the ink in her hair is India ink. I also used a muted pink that I got in my sketch box last month, and it's the liquitex ink. Super pretty color, but combining that with the black was kind of cool looking. One of the things that I really wanted to do is I wanted to ink with the India ink and a brush. I've always liked that. I've always loved those pictures that have like the brushed line art and everything like that. But I don't have the proper brushes to do this yet. You can kind of see that I'm like changing up my brushes because like they're still too thick. Like I need to go get like specific line art brushes. Like I really do want to do a piece that's more a brush ink. But right now I gave up about halfway through and just grabbed my fine tip pocket brush and just started lining everything with that instead. But I do want to do a piece that I can properly line everything with brushes and the India ink and really try and experiment more with that and try and master that craft, if you will. I don't know why she's naked. I mean, I do know why she's naked. It wasn't truly my intention, but I didn't want to put clothes on her because I thought it would get lost in her hair. So I just made her naked. But she's a Greek goddess, so whatever. They're usually naked half the time anyway. Also, I didn't want, like, I knew I wanted this to be an extremely limited palette, like blacks and then like a hint of color. So I really didn't want to like color her skin, you know, any with yellows and browns and pinks and purples. Like I didn't want to like just destroy her skin because I wanted the dusk-like sky that you will see is not dusk-like at all, but I wanted that to kind of pop. Like I wanted it to be like, oh, hey, she's coming, she's night, she's sweeping across the world, and she's bringing the night. Which, like I said, really did not get that to come through. But, so I, like, I was just kind of playing, and this is all just muted down ink, shading in and kind of wiping it up and going over it to build up a like gradient when it comes to the ink. It's just diluted ink. It's mostly water. Just again slapped down on her skin. I did add a hint of pink in like her cheeks and her nose and lips area, because I would be bringing that color pink into the sky later on. So I did know that I did want to put just a hint of a pop of color, similar to how I have like the pop of like the muted pink that looks more purpley in the sky and within Erebus's hands, sort of. He's supposed to be invisible, but he still has purpley fingertips, because why not? I originally had intended the flowers to be kind of like different hues of purples and the blacks, but I thought it would look too, I mean, it's still black, so it's still going to look too close to her hair. I don't know if it would have looked better with like hints of the purple color, but I was a fan of just the ink, the dilated black ink, kind of looking like weird tattoos on her body, just like all of these nighttime flowers kind of just like crawling up her skin. And as I said, because I kind of did that terribly with her hair in the background, I was just trying to carry it through. It was too late to save the hair, so I don't know if any of you are familiar with the color of dusk, but I can tell you one thing. It's not yellow. I don't know why I put yellow in there. It should have been pinks, like it should have been pink to blue, so it had that like gradient of purple in there, or, you know, red to blue, whatever, but yeah, I was just like, oh, yellow for fields and grain, and the sky is gonna be yellow, because that makes sense. But it is not dusk time at all. It is just like, the world is on fire, and she is bringing the night. Or the underwater sea, potentially, because that's kind of what it looks like her hair is actually. And there's the final piece. I had added a couple more lines to bring the piece together, where Erebus's arms are, to ensure that you could tell that he was invisible. And that's it. I will see you guys with my next video.